What's up guys, back in today with another reaction to the Berserk manga, this time with chapter 1 of One Snowy Night and chapter 1 of The Morning Departure. I think this will be the second to last reaction to this volume. Been a really good volume so far. Again, don't really care too much about the kind of Doldray stuff, but it was the best part of it in this volume, to be fair, with the final chapters. But I think we'll be saying goodbye to Guts reasonably soon. I was expecting that in the last couple reactions, but again, my kind of placement of the timeline is a bit whiffed. Interesting to see what we well, obviously the departure is referring to Guts, I believe, but interesting to see what kind of changes we're going to see in that aspect today. I think there is one major change, because I have actually read one chapter coming up that wasn't in the anime. It was the chapter when we first meet Skull Knight in the manga, so I've already actually read that. There was the last chapter I did read. I didn't read anything beforehand, but I read about 3 chapters near the start to go with the 1997 anime. I think it came out in 1997. To go along with that, and then this one as well, in place of in between like episodes 16 and 17, I think it was somewhere around there, just to kind of tie things together. But it was actually, funnily enough, that reading was one of my favourite parts of that anime, which sounds odd, doesn't it? But it was such an awesome meeting. Can't wait to actually see that meeting again between Guts and Skull Knight. I did see a meeting between the two later on in one of the movies, but that was actually the first time I did get introduced to that character. So I'm looking forward to seeing him again soon. Again, no idea when it's coming up really, but we'll get right into the chapters today. Let me know what you guys think about these chapters down in the comment section though. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy this video, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions. I think that was the last chapter, so this is where we'll be starting. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about these down in the comment section, and we'll get right into it. I think this is just after the assassination happened, I'm pretty sure. Oh, something new. One Snowy Night. Griffith? Have a pleased smile on his face. Very much the opposite from Corkus. Very much the opposite of what he was looking like during the whole party, to be honest, wasn't it? It was kind of the same nervousness, but very different style, wasn't it? Corkus just got so many facial expressions. Casca, man. Jumping right into Griffith's arms. Not sure what's going on here. With Rika, it looks like he's fallen over. Griffith! Tears from the eyes. Oh, I guess they all still thought he was dead, I guess. Nice wholesome return. Oh, that's another slightly darker skinned character. Again, we don't really see too many of those, other than Casca and Pippin, I guess. There's only ever like one, isn't there? I think that's how it is in Japan, isn't it? They probably only ever, some of them see none in their lifetime from what I've heard, but they only ever probably see maybe one in their lifetime or something, one person who's darkly coloured. From what I've seen of interviews and such anyway. Although nowadays I imagine it is becoming much more common. We've got a bunch of weebs. We've got a bunch of weebs moving over to live in Japan. Honestly though, I think I could, I don't think I can live in Japan, but I think I'd do alright on like on a holiday, for example. I know enough of the like greetings and such to get by, I think, and enough of the kind of easy answer to questions, for example, like yes, no, and stuff like that, and like how are you, and saying please, for example. But that's the thing. I think people think they'll be alright with that stuff, and then get there, and then they see all this kanji, which is where I stopped when I was actually kind of learning the language, is where the kanji is just almost yeah, it's hard. I imagine it's quite a lot easier as a kid to remember the kanji, because I think imagery and learning a kind of picture like that is a bit easier to remember as a kid, but as an adult, it's, for me anyway, it's easier to remember kind of in revisions and such. It's hard to, not revision, but I don't know, just yeah, Not in that way. I'm a bit more of a literal learner. Just give me the. I was quite good at learning the hiragana and katakana. Like that's what I translate the kanji to. But you need to know kanji to learn Japanese. That's the thing. Anyway, Griff. I must have really worried you, Casca. It was terrible. Casca hasn't been herself ever since you fainted, Griffith. Fainted? Is that the word you're using? Look at that cute face, man. Sorry. Hey? This dress looks good on you. So it's annoying that he had to... Like, Guts had to tell him. Well, I'm not really sure it affected it too much. Maybe he would have said this anyway, but it's annoying that for him to notice Casca's dress that Guts had to literally tell him about it. And he didn't, like, see them prior or anything. Not even, like, have a glimpse of her. Bit of a shame, honestly, but there was a lot of people at the party, I guess, so maybe you can't blame him. I don't know. Again, something feels a little bit stained about that compliment to me. This dress looks good on you. Little fucking Rickert, man. What is Corkus doing? Looks like Guts is happy with himself. Well, happy yet more happy with these people, I imagine. He walks off. And is this the ceremony? Several days later, the Queen's royal funeral was held in a splendid yet solemn manner. Oh, this is the funeral. A splendid yet solemn manner. Solemn. Interesting word. Not really 100% sure of the definition of solemn, to be honest. I know it's a kind of royalty-ish word. I only know that from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! The enigmatic deaths of the Queen and the Conservative ministers, along with the attempted assassination of Count Griffith on the same night, went into the realm of whispered rumour. It was said that it had been the work of Tudor hardliners, or possibly an assassin from a third country. Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't more of an inquest into all of this, because a lot happened. Seeking to obstruct the Midland Tudor armistice agreement. The following day, the remains of several individuals thought possibly to be connected to the incidents were discovered outside the Wyndham Castle, but not enough clues were ever found to explain the facts of the situation. The truth vanished into darkness. One month later. Quite funny, yeah? They said they vanished into darkness while having one of the whitest panels in the whole volume. I think that just shows how clear Griffith is, doesn't it? Just shows he's scot-free. 1 month later. We'll go and sleeping. Oh, so Guts hasn't left yet. But he's leaving now. Looks like. His destroyed sword. Well, it feels slightly different in the manga here, him leaving. Almost feels a bit more upbeat, if you know what I'm saying. It feels a little bit more like he is going for his own journey now. He's doing this for himself. He's creating his dream. It does feel a bit more uplifting than it did in the anime. It had the same type of vibe, don't get me wrong, but you don't get like scenes like this. I don't remember seeing a scene like this with all these little gut smiles. They add up, if you know what I'm saying. Like these little panels, like one panel can translate to another one that was missed out, that translates to another one, and then you just miss out like a whole kind of thing, if you know what I'm saying. That door. It's snowing. Who's that out this late? Guts? So, hey, this chick was a work of art. Casca, where are you headed so late? What's the rush? Nice outfit. Probably bathroom, probably. It's cold after all. Oh, so he's saying that she's running because it's cold. Guts! Guts. You? Are you leaving? Is that it? Damn, Casca looks really good again here in this shot. Very pretty. Wait a minute. I was on bad terms with you for a long time, but we're comrades who have braved death together. All the trouble of the Band of the Hawk has gone through is starting to pay off. It all starts here, right? Knowing that at a time like this, I've already made up my mind about it. Yeah, he was not happy when she arrived. And not in the angry sense, more in the, I think, disappointed for himself that he has to deal with this kind of way, if you know what I'm saying. But I'll actually say this to her face and leave to her face. Kind of worried. Like, look at this panel here. Never really see her look too much like this, like a worrisome look, but not too worried, if you know what I'm saying. Not like someone's dying, but just like an internal emotional kind of face. I like this panel here with Guts as well. Again, like he does look very made up, doesn't he? It's like there's nothing. It's like you can't read anything from that face. But I can't remain buried in his dream like this. But I agree with your choice, Guts, to be honest. I can understand why you'd stay, and I can understand why you'd leave. To help a friend achieve his dream, and to go off and achieve yours. I mean, both options fair enough, aren't they? You can't really fault whatever choice he makes. I hope things go well with you, Griffith. Hey, Corkus, Jedau, come talk with us a while. I don't want to talk to fucking Corkus. Trying to get us to stay and you make us talk to Corkus. Not a good fucking plan. Oh. Can always tell it's kind of like that little look back to Casca. It's very clear that she's quite important to him. And the other way around as well. Griffith might keep him from leaving. Did you look what he said? I can't remain buried in his dream like this. It's an interesting choice of words. Again, it'd be interesting to see what that was said. Well, obviously, again, I don't like I mentioned at the start, I don't fully understand Japanese or anything, but it'd be interesting to see what that phrase actually means, if it does exactly mean that. If it does, then that is very interesting, isn't it? Remain buried in his dream like this. Again, I can definitely understand that feeling. Hey, look at them. It's the Hawk Commanders. Hey, fellas. Give it a rest now, Corkus. Guts looks happy to be here. Hey, sweet thing. But why though? I mean, now? All of a sudden? It ain't sudden. I decided before our last dispatch. Are you dissatisfied or something? Hey, what time are you, fucking Corkus, piss off with your trying to pick up girls. Hey, what time are you off work? Eh? Dissatisfied? I've got no reason to be. The Hawks are different from regular bands. They gave me, a wandering mercenary who knew only how to fight, the first taste of camaraderie. That's not something the old you would have said. These 3 years really have been fun. It feels like it's been a big festival or something all this time. No way I'm dissatisfied. What's your name? It's Mary. Then why in the world? Corkus, do you mind? Shut it. I'm Sir Corkus, unit commander of the Band of the Hawk. What's wrong with me trying to hand a girl or two What's wrong with me trying my hand at a girl or two in a bar? Huh? Any bar or inn in town, you say you're a Hawk commander in any shop in Wyndham and it's a free ride. If you walk down the streets, kids and women swarm you, and it's no wonder. We're the heroes of the kingdom. To top it off, we're going to be joining the nobles pretty soon. So long to those musty barracks. If everything goes well, we could be castle lords. Then it's smooth sailing, living in the court. Oh, Corkus. If only you knew. If only you knew how you died. Christ. Does he not get killed by a woman? I can't exactly remember. I'm pretty sure he gets killed by like a boob woman demon, doesn't he? Or something like that. Quite fitting, to be honest, isn't it? Justice. It's almost like the sin of lust has came back to get him. Normally we could never have gotten any of this. Commoners like us couldn't even dream of it. But we got it. I can tell you how many blood-stained memories I have of the enemy's swords nearly taking my head off, with one foot planted in the grave. We finally made it. And you want to go and throw that all away. Just like you were throwing off old clothes. You are unbelievably thick. What are you, screwed in the head? I mean, he does bring up a decent point here. From where they came from to where they are, but still, like I said, I can't really fault any choice Guts makes at the minute. It's all, every answer is the right answer. Corkus. A guy like you only knows how to kill people and wouldn't be able to dance with ladies at parties anyway, right? You can swing a sword, but can you swing a woman? Huh? It's like you said. I can't do anything but swing my sword. When I first killed a man, I was a kid who still didn't know right from left. I haven't learned anything off the battlefield since then, and I haven't tried to learn. Killing to survive. There was nothing else I could do, and that was everything. But it was alright. If one person, anyone, had looked my way. So if Corkus is like his main selling point to all this is girls, picking up girls. You can't swing a girl, like okay. It was alright. If one person, anyone, had looked my way. There's old Gambino. Damn. It's quite nostalgic, even for me, looking back at these younger local versions of Guts. Didn't get to spend all that much time with him while I was younger, but it was a big kind of part of his life, wasn't it? From that baby, seeing him as a baby under that fucking tree with all those dead bodies, and then with Gambino and Donovan. Much as we didn't get a lot, it was very eventful, to say the least. But wandering the battlefields made me realise that wouldn't do me any good in trying to survive. It was just something of a childish complaint. Even so, incidentally, I found someone I really wanted to have a look at me. He didn't have anything, yet he was trying to take hold of everything. No, something about him made you think it could happen. But in order for him to aim so high, he has to always hone himself to the very limit. That's why there's no room at his side for the weak. Brings up some very good points here, doesn't it? But strangely, the more clear that becomes, the more dazzling he is in my eyes. I've had enough, looking up at him from inside his dream. Ah, man, that is some profound stuff right there, isn't it? They're all so true as well. Like, as we've seen during the series, the only person that has really been able to sit close to Griffith's side has been Guts. The only one that's been on the same level. But it's funny because Guts had almost no ambition and no aim and no goal. He did just join in on Griffiths. But I guess now that he's going off by himself, he might be kind of transcending that, if you know what I'm saying, and that might be the cause of the decline of Griffith, perhaps. Again, I imagine there's quite a lot you can probably infer from this. There's a lot more kind of emotions more than anything, I think, going on here. For Guts, I mean, he words stuff very interestingly, doesn't he? The more dazzling he is in my eyes, and some very much some kind of gay overtones. I think there has been throughout this whole kind of story, if you know what I'm saying. Not to a degree of kind of right in your face and obvious. Again, I think it is very much left up to viewer interpretation. If you didn't see that, or if you don't want to, you can read this story without that. I think you can just kind of dismiss that, but also it is there, if you know what I'm saying. If you did want to kind of have that go on, if you know what I'm saying, in your story, like, it's funny how there's almost like two versions with and without that. You can very much continue the story with that as well, and it'll kind of make sense either way. I see it a little bit like a little bit like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 a little bit, but not quite as blatant. Not quite as blatant indeed, but quite similar. I want to stand beside him by attaining something of my own. He's the only one I can't stand looking down on me. And look at his pissed face. It's the only time I've actually seen him look a little bit angry during this chapter, which is not common. That is not common. Yeah, that was a really good chapter, wasn't it? Again, much more in terms of developing the characters more than anything. But as I said plenty of times, these are my favourite chapters, to be honest. Getting a deep dive into the characters, and especially Guts' thoughts on Griffith right here. And there was some very much profound stuff going on here. See, I'd like to see what the comments are saying, but sometimes you get some idiots. And yeah, look at this. I mean, they're not idiots, but they're like W. And yeah, there's not really too much actual comments on the story, is there? But that's why I want you guys to let me know what you guys think down in the comments. But yeah, some very much profound stuff here, and again, some fan service for the people that want that, and again, you can very much dismiss that if you did want to. But again, I think it has been strategically kind of placed there very subtly throughout, to be honest with you. But yeah, let's get into the final chapter for today, and the second to final chapters for this volume, I believe. Again, next reaction will be the final couple chapters for this volume. I'm not sure how many volumes we've got left, to be honest. So I think maybe 30 odd, which is actually quite a lot, isn't it? I want to stand beside him by attaining something of my own. He's the only one I can't stand looking down on me. Get your fucking feet off the table, Corkus. This guy is just a full-on fucking loser, isn't he, Corkus? Yeah, you've literally got a bit of food, not even on a plate, right next to you, with those dirty ass feet you just ran out with in the snow in outside. It's just like, what the fuck? I mean, I know fucking conditions and what is it, cleanliness and such wasn't a massive thing back in these days, but I mean, sure way to kill yourself, this, isn't it? Even more so because they're in this time period. Stand beside. Griffith? Huh? You can't be serious. That's something a kid would say. Don't you get it? He's special. He's different from us. All you know how to do is kill. And you're captain of the Hawks Raiders, a position you don't deserve. And all that's possible because you met Griffith. Here comes the finger from Corkus. He's becoming much more unlikable by the minute, isn't he? Mr. Corkus. I mean, I never liked him anyway, but even more insufferable here. Apologies, guys. My nose is. I sound a bit weird right now. My nose is a little bit funny. It's not like fully blocked, but it's not open either. Better than the last time. Better than the last couple of videos, though. I was very ill during the last couple. I'm not interested in stuff like class or rank. What I want is something else. Something I can win for myself. That's why you sound like a brat. Damn, we're really causing a ruckus here. I like this guy's hat. Looks like a mushroom, doesn't he? Yeah, we're really causing a ruckus right here. This guy's got no mouth. I know with a lot of English people, my lips are reasonably big actually. Well, I wouldn't say they're big, but they're actually lips. Quite a lot of English people don't have lips. They just have really kind of like that. Like with anything though, I find it strange when you do focus on stuff like that, so I'm not gonna. Something you can win for yourself, huh? If something like that were easy to find, no one would ever have to suffer. Even if you're lucky enough to find it, only a small handful of people get to be winners. Normal people use their own strength and talents to come to terms with their real lives and make do best they can. Interesting point. Normal people use their own strength and talents to come to terms with their real lives and make do best they can. There's plenty out there who say all you need is a dream. It makes me sick to look at arseholes like that. All you need's a dream, huh? That's something weaklings who can't face the truth say. An unrealised dream is just a load of crap, straight out of the horse's arse. Corkus, you mean you don't have something like that? Very clearly, no. Very clearly he came to terms he's a very average and below average even man. And he's just lucky to be at this level because he's done nothing spectacular, has he? He's had no massive feats, yet he's now attained this rank of noble or whatever. Well, he's so high and mighty about it, I guess, but it's quite sad actually. The hell with this. Jedau, I'm done for the night. I can't stand to hang with the big baby anymore. Commander, your bill. Put it on my tab. See? Put it on my tab is how he goes out. Not even taking fucking responsibility for. In spite of all that, he used to lead a band of thieves. Well, there was only about 2 men. Oh, 10 men, sorry. And the times were tough. They crossed the band of the Hawk and were sure enough got put in their place. Sorry. Ever since then, he's been one of ours. Well, no big deal. Shoot. Maybe there was something he wanted to win for himself. Damn, that would be cool. That would actually be quite the occasion, wouldn't it? I mean, leading men, even if it is 10 men, you're in a leadership role, and then getting smoked by the band of the Hawk and then getting put in your place, as Jedau says. I guess that would kind of end a lot of your dreams and such, and they did, and they are now very much a part of just Griffith's kind of overall dream, aren't they? But yeah, going from a position of power like that to low rank subordinate and A-class wanker would kind of dent you a little bit, I guess. Definitely got a chip on his shoulder, hasn't he? As for me, I've always been a jack of all trades. I'm better than average with swords and knives, and without boasting, I have a pretty quick wit too. But I've never been the best at anything. You know what? I very much fucking relate to that. I've always been quite good at stuff. I've always been, especially starting out stuff. I'm a really quick learner. I've always been really good at picking stuff up and getting good at stuff quickly. But I've never been one to fully kind of master anything. So I very much relate to him on that. Almost to a point where people get like annoyed at me sometimes if I'm like good at something off the bat. But again, I've never been one to achieve that kind of an actual success in an area like that. Yeah, very relatable statement there, to be honest. That's why I decided, if I couldn't be the best, I'd fly in the wake of the one who seems the best. There's nobody who never wanted something. Yeah, I think you'd be dead if you didn't. That's the thing. If you lose motivation like that, you would kill yourself or just end up dying, I guess. Everyone has to have a want. It's getting real deep, isn't it? Don't get me wrong though, I'm pretty happy with things and my own situation. Well, from one perspective, that's not all true. This the Casca moment. To sacrifice your status as captain of the raiders, and the promise of peerage and knighthood dangling before your eyes, all for some vague thing. I wonder if something's wrong. But maybe there's something wrong with all men. Dreams. Win or lose, I'm sure you could spend your whole life chasing one. So true. So true. Or die trying, at least. Like I said, that day, 3 years ago, I said you'd find a place to belong here. I guess I was wrong. I don't think you're wrong. Apologies, guys. Yeah, I don't think it was wrong at all. I think he did find his place here. Guts. He's in it right now, but again, he's just choosing to move on. I'll see you off. I hope you find it. You're something. It was a very nice conversation with Jedau here, wasn't it? I do really like him. Does he die? He does, doesn't he? I'm pretty sure. I can't remember how he dies. Maybe I can't remember because I actually like him. I don't want to remember. Unlike with Corkus. Saying that, I think that is true actually, because I can't remember how Pippin dies. Casca obviously doesn't die, which you wouldn't know from the original anime, but from the movies. Obviously Corkus dies. Rickert doesn't die, although that is very much left up to question with both the movies and... Actually, no, it's not with the movies, but it is with the anime again, isn't it? He just leaves. He just goes in the forest one night. You see a bunch of demons in the forest, and then you never see him again, so you just assume he's dead. Do you reckon that was intentional? Looking back, that surely must have been intentional, right? But he doesn't die. So, yeah, the only one I can remember died is Corkus. That's very telling, isn't it? Hey, I do want to ask you one thing. Eh? What's up with you and Casca? What's that supposed to mean? Well, ever since you two fell off that cliff, it's like you've gotten a lot closer. You really think so? Well, a lot's happened with her. What's that look for? Some interesting looks right here. But if you fall off a cliff together, I guess you bond. That's the big statement here. mean, naturally, right? I'm not even saying that ironically. Naturally, I think if you did fall off a cliff with a girl, you probably would end up getting closer, spending some time in the forest and such, trying to salvage yourselves. Why not? Try your luck with her. Huh? Hold up. That was random. What made you say that? Every old dog in the Hawks knows that. She and Griffith. She? Casca? Can't be with Griffith. Chances are. Huh? Like you said, Griffith rose up from having nothing to be a top general of Midland. That's practically a miracle itself. Ordinarily, you'd throw. That's practically a miracle itself. Ordinarily, you'd throw your hands up and celebrate without hoping for anything more. But he won't stop. The goal he pursues is one of a kind. In that case, they say the kingdom. They say the kingdom probably won't see war for some time. In that case, even Griffith won't have any opportunities to shine militarily. His chances for promotion will be slim. Even if he's a general, he's still a soldier after all. There's nothing beyond that. He'll need a trump card for one last push. Don't you get it? It's the princess. Catching Princess Charlotte is the fastest shortcut to Griffith's ambition. It's also the only way. It's a nice photo of her there, isn't it? Sorry guys, my desk is wobbling right now for some strange reason. Maybe a bit too close. Yeah, that's a nice artwork right there, isn't it? Again, very noble. Very I'm not sure what the time period was, but very noble for the period of. Again, not too much to write home about the artwork in general, about these couple chapters is there. Again, it's just mostly character development and such. So, but even so, still get a nice piece like this. ... Griffith is now the White Phoenix General's Midland's heroic saviour. Besides even Her Highness, he'd appear quite a worthy companion. As fate would have it, General Julius, next in line to the throne after Her Highness, and his son Adonis, who was likely to marry her, are now dead by the hands of another. Wow. So even further than just kind of killing them off because they're a hassle, they actually strategically killed them off as well because they were in the line to the throne. I mean, that was, you could probably put that together without him saying that, but I didn't get that till just now. Adds even more kind of a sinister aspect to him. What's more, the Queen, well within the court for her severity, and several Conservative ministers were mysteriously burned to death on the night of the assassination attempt on Griffith. Thanks to that, the military award ceremony is still postponed. Guts, you... No. Oh well. Guts, don't tell the others about this. It's not that I don't trust them. The Hawks are bound by one fate after all. So is he saying if one of them lets out about it, or one of them gets caught or something, that they're all fucked? But I don't want to reveal to them my dirty side. Oh well, no, literally. I swear this happens every time. I say something and I try and theorize about it, and then the next panel is just, no, you're wrong. They need only to feel as though we're rising up. Did we see this bit though? Not sure we did. But I don't want to reveal to them my dirty side. They need only feel as though we're rising up. You're rough enough to share with this with, to the end. In any case, this means those who'd interfere with Griffith's ambitions are all dead. The princess, she's in love with him. Well, that's probably by his design. Anyway, there's no way he'll miss this chance. As for Casca, Griffith is truly special. It goes beyond any feelings for him. He rescued her from despair and gave her a new life. So it's more than love she feels for him. It's more like worship. Very well said, to be fair. It is more like worship. I've always seen it that way anyway. I've never really seen any kind of romance between the two, as much as that's kind of slightly implied from the start. Again, it is much more like a god. It was quite godlike actions, wasn't it, from Griffith? Rather than saving, rather than salvation. Gave the power to save yourself. Yet despite all her efforts, can she find happiness? Being a woman longing for a man she can't ever have? If she loves him, shouldn't she want to be held by him? Moreover, beside him is the woman he can't afford to refuse in fulfilling his dream. That woman can grant him the thing he most desires, the one thing the Casca herself definitely can't offer him. That must be unbearable, dealing with that. So, what about Casca? Ever think you'd like to hold her? She's a fine woman. She's a lot better than those noble girls who only know how to dress up. True. She's a fine woman. It's hard to find a woman you can trust to watch your back on the battlefield. Yeah, that's very true. But, less. A woman, I see her as a comrade. So? No. That's not it. The one who has her eye is Griffith. That's why, right now, I'm no good for her like this. It's a very ugly drawing of Griffith. Not ugly drawing, but I don't like this half of his face. Doesn't quite look as it looks a bit more sinister, is what I'm trying to say, more than his usual kind of quite faint look, quite a striking look. Almost looks a bit like Madonna or is it Kylie Minogue? Almost looks a bit like a girl of that type. Quite a scary looking face. Yeah, not saying that's bad. Gotcha. It really seemed there was hope for you though. For now, my hands are full with just me. This is far enough. Here's the gang. Even more for Guts to deal with. Everyone dressed up in their winter stuff. You can ignore Corkus. You just take him out of the picture. Fucking Pippin looking like a mountain back there. You guys. How could you, Guts? Leave him without saying anything. Why? Don't you like the Band of the Hawk? Rickert. So hard. You brought fucking Rickert along. That would be so difficult, man. If I was in Guts' position here, that'd be so difficult. Say goodbye to the kid. Look at Casca as well. They're just making it as difficult as possible, aren't they, the bastards? How can you say no to a crying kid like that? And look at this sadness in here. It's interesting design for the panel right here. Mostly because the areas next to it are white anyway, so obviously this would look slightly different in the actual book. And that's just a bit of an overwhelmed look there, overwhelmed sadness look there from Casca. Oh, and this is the end. That went quickly. And Griffith is here as well. Who's that next to us? Is that Pippin next to him? It's quite funny. He's on the same level as Pippin. I mean, he's definitely not as tall as Pippin, but But that's just for imagery, isn't it? Like Griffith is the leader, he is the top dog, the one that dreams they all follow. So it would be a bit unfair to make Pippin bigger than him, even though he is bigger than him. A little slight detail there. Look at him, he takes over the whole fucking scene. But yeah, some really good chapters. Jedau valued for making Guts think critically. Is that what you got from this? Oh god. That princess is going to be an annoying simp. Wow. Okay, some truly fucking inspirational insight right there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Again, really good couple chapters today. Again, and definitely in the character progression side of things, there were some brilliant moments, especially from Guts today, wasn't there? On his thoughts on his dream and going forward, and his current thoughts on Griffith and such. Again, so more of that kind of subtext we've seen up until this point, but again, just a bit of an overwhelming sadness right here at the end, being faced with all his comrades right here at the end again, except for fucking just skip Corkus. Very much a couple very sad chapters, but again, equally just as good as they were sad, wasn't it? Seeing all the expressions from the characters again, I really did like this talk from Jedau and Guts, so that was again very profound, but some very profound stuff in general from what everyone said in this episode. From again, even Corkus, as much as I don't like that guy, he did bring up some very good points, but yeah, very good couple chapters today. Again, this is some of my favourite stuff from the series. Again, like I said, I like the action and stuff. I like the drawings with the action. We don't get too much of the amazing, awesome drawings when we're doing stuff like this, but these are some of my favourite kind of parts in the story. So hopefully we are going to get a couple more chapters of this to come, so absolutely can't wait for it. Make sure you let me know what you guys thought about these couple of chapters down in the comment section though. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions. I'll be back on Tuesday with chapters 2 and 3 of the Morning Departure, so hopefully you can join me then, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.